keeping some 13 to 30,000 troops in South Korea, specifically to be held hostage for this event. And I think the U.S. knows that North Korea is a puppet of China and will begin the trigger of that war. But you see, if the U.S. responds with tactical nuclear weapons to stop the North Korean attack, that gives the opening for both Russia and China to do their long-awaited nuclear preemptive strike on the West. I believe it will be attack on military targets only in the United States, sparing most of the cities, and possibly take out the nuclear targets in the UK. I think initially they will not strike Europe because they want to blackmail Europe into submission. The globalists will come out of their bunkers and say, Russians and Chinese deceived us. We now need to join, since our military has been destroyed, in a militarized New World Order to prosecute this grand patriotic war. And many Americans will be deceived at our leaders' claims that they were deceived at this or that they didn't know what was coming. Like 9/11, the United States knows fully what they're coming. They are, in fact, covering for the military preparations of Russia and China and making sure that the United States is vulnerable to this nuclear attack so that there will be the maximum incentive to get Americans to finally give up national sovereignty.
Unbelievable. Joel Skousen, researcher, editor of World Affairs Brief, is our guest. Joel, I've got to stop you because every time you're on, and of course the film we've made that's coming out in a few weeks that we are putting up for pre-order today at InfoWarsStore.com, you go over all this with all the facts, all the documents, then we put video clips over it, all the maps. And when you look at the whole globalist New World Order, Anglo-American agenda, and for new listeners, that doesn't mean white people. It's just, you know, the United States, England is called the Anglo-American system by the globalists themselves. When you look at it, your breakdown is what makes sense. Everything they're doing is about not making us self-sufficient individually. Everything they're doing is about hurting people, especially the minorities in the compact cities. Everything they're doing is about demonizing us. I would notice a decade ago, News Corps would be pro-war, pro-tyranny domestically, but then badmouth America and their publications overseas, you know, run by Rupert Murdoch. And this whole program, just like World War I, World War II, setting up these enemies that are real enemies, but they still set them up to begin with. It's not that Hitler was run by, quote, the West. It was that he was empowered. And because I've read all the even mainline history books admit that. It's just not something that's on History Channel. They admit they put Mao Zedong